Good evening, fellow whiskey lovers, and welcome to the Dram by Lactodorum Whiskey Club. I'm Dean.
And I'm Ian. This is our channel, and we're going to take you on the journey, walk you through the whiskies that are available from our Dram bar and our subscription packs.
There's a link in the description if you'd like to find out more. But for now, if you're drinking along with a dram from the online Dram bar, sit back, relax, pour yourself a dram, let it breathe, and let's get into it together.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome to tonight's video, and I have to apologise to you first because I know you're not a fan, but there's method behind my madness, right? So we're trying the Bourbon Bourbon tonight. There's method behind my madness. You tried this once and you didn't like it. I love it, and I know it's gimmicky, and I know it's technically not a whiskey, it's a bourbon anyway, but you then tried the candy cane bourbon at Christmas and you said it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be. So I thought tonight we could try this again for you. We bring it back to your palate, see if your palate's matured enough to be able to really cope with how beautiful this expression is.
Mm. Okay.
And it wouldn't be you without having a moody video either. So
I'm up for the challenge of trying the Bourbon Bourbon.
So I'm gonna keep the suspense a little bit for you
while
we talk about the whiskey. So this is a Bourbon Bourbon. So it's a Kentucky straight bourbon. What the guys at Atom Labs, the autonomers, they bring over the Kentucky bourbon, and then they infuse that with bourbon biscuits.
Anyone that doesn't know what a bourbon biscuit is?
Pow. Imagine if we had editing skills and we could make that zoom in like a Batman-y thing. But we are definitely whiskey.
That's what a bourbon biscuit looks like.
There you go.
For anyone that isn't aware. So anyone outside of the UK, I don't know if you can get these outside the UK.
I'm not sure
really.
Where they come from.
So it's like 2 layers of a crumbly chocolate biscuit with a chocolate cream fondant, I guess.
Yeah.
On the inside, like a chocolate cream.
And you like these, right?
I love a bourbon.
Okay. So a real bourbon as well has to have 10 holes, I believe, in the biscuit. That's what makes it a real bourbon.
Yeah,
there you go. So we're going for the Bourbon Bourbon. There's not really much to say about this whiskey apart from, like I say, it's brought over to the guys at Atom Labs, the autonomers. They bring over the base spirit. They infuse with I'm going to get it wrong now, but bourbon biscuits to give it that real chocolatey flavour, and then they add the vanilla essence in there as well to make it pop. You ready? You're going to go for this.
Can't contain myself.
So there's not much else you're going to get from this apart from chocolate, right? And vanilla.
Which again, most bourbons.
But it's enhanced, which is why I love it. And this is one of our best sellers.
It's like a mutant whiskey enhanced.
It is, yeah. Teenage Mutant Bourbon Bourbon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's just so
Let
strong.
me guess what you're getting on the nose.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder. I'd love to be able to throw a curveball in and go, do you know what, I get raisins, but I really don't.
It's just pure.
It's just chocolate.
It's pure chocolate.
And it is the same smell.
You didn't get me a biscuit out.
No. Okay, we share everything else. It is the same. They've done well. Right? Credit where it's due. Their mission statement was to create a bourbon that tastes like bourbons. They smashed the ball out of the park because it literally does taste and smell just like it.
And I think that in a way that's the beauty of it, right? So you're doing something different, which in the whiskey industry doesn't really happen to that extent where you go gimmicky with it. Like you get your different flavour rums, your gins, etc. It's not really something that happens.
You've got like the Jack Daniels,
very true,
and Jim Beam got their range, and there's that awful one. Fireball.
Yeah,
I can't stand that.
Cinnamon.
I don't think that's actually whiskey. I think it's like whiskey liqueur.
Yeah,
I think it's like 30% or something.
But this is better than that.
Yeah, it is.
I can't believe you've just complimented it.
It is better than that. Well, one, it's actually of proper, whiskey strength, right? It's 40.4%. So, at least we're in the right ballpark. And you can still taste the bourbon in here. Did I say that right? No, you can taste the bourbon.
Yeah.
You can definitely taste the bourbon.
You've caught it off me.
Yeah. Right. Anyway,
Cheers.
Cheers.
I really like it.
I know you do.
I really like it.
It's just so sweet.
Yeah,
it's too
really
sweet.
I think I mentioned this before. I'd class it as a dessert whiskey. You'd have it kind of at the end of the night if you didn't fancy the Lafroig or something a little bit more smoky. If you didn't want to go and hit up that wee beastie, and you wanted something sweet to end the night on, that's perfect. You can't have too many drams of it. You can't have too much.
I don't think you could drink a lot of this. I think you'd get fed up of it really quickly. I think it's so sickly. For me, anyway. Yeah. It's really sweet and quite sickly for me. The chocolate, the vanilla comes through, supercharged.
Yeah. Lasts as well.
Yeah, it does. It lingers.
Lasting flavour.
Yeah, it does linger. Which isn't great.
I was going to say I'm trying to sell it, and there's not.
No,
not really going for it. But.
Right, the whole thing of the point of anything, right, is that not everybody's going to like something. So for every 10 people, there'll be a handful of people that absolutely love this. And
it does divide the room. And if you think about the concept we were trying to do with the Whiskey Club around taking people on a journey, making them try or allowing them to try different whiskies and blends and bourbons that they haven't had before.
Yeah,
we're doing exactly
that. Right. I don't believe in whiskey snobbery. Right. I think every whiskey has its place. Just because one person, me, doesn't particularly love this product doesn't mean it's not a good product. Doesn't mean that it hasn't got its place and there aren't people out there who are going to like it. I personally think that this would be, if you've never drunk whiskey before and you wanted to try something new, I think this would be a good gateway whiskey. Kind of similar to I think Jameson's Cask Mates that were really good gateway whiskey. I think this kind of falls into the same kind of category. It's just over 40%. I'm pretty sure the Cask Mates are bang on 40% from Jameson's. They're quite nice, but they are really, the expression is just so approachable. And this is really approachable. It's really easy to drink. So for someone that isn't a big whiskey fan and wants to get into whiskey, it's probably a great gateway.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it probably takes the whiskey into a different genre as well, with it being that big chocolatey flavour and being as approachable as it is.
I can't imagine that there'd be many diehard fans that will love it, but I could be wrong. There might well be, because they might have super sweet tooth, right? So try it, see if you like it, make up your own mind. Don't go off my negativity. I don't think it's awful.
I don't think you've been that bad. I thought you were going to be a lot worse.
I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's great. That's where I will leave.
It's fair.
That's where I will leave it.
So if you were going to have this in a tasting then, and you had the smoky whiskey and you had this, where would you put it? Because I'm still not sure.
Is in order?
In order, if you were going kind of something a bit more Speyside to start with, something in the middle.
My only concern would be if you had it first. It's so intense, and it does have that long-lasting finish. I worry that if you had that first, that whatever you had after it, you'd still get the chocolate taste. So I wonder if it needs to go down maybe at the end.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Pause the video, right? Pause.
This.
So I'm going to throw a curveball in there.
Okay. As if by magic, this is
by magic. Talisker. Let's give it a little drop. Might need a bit more, Oh, that's a big drop.
I can still smell the chocolate. That's all I can smell. And let me get my nose back in there. Yeah, okay, so the task is coming through. That chocolate still is pretty.
It's still present.
It's pretty present.
I'm wondering if it's got that smoky kick.
It has. You can smell that traditional Talisker vibe is coming through. So that briny, salty note is coming through, which I love. I love a Talisker.
That is really interesting.
But that chocolate is still.
You trying it?
No. I don't want to ruin my the thought process that I have on Talisker. Go on, I'll try it.
You've got me.
You don't look convinced.
I think the Talisker takes over, if I'm honest. It does. I don't really get a lot of the chocolate flavour. It kind of dies out. On the nose, you're right. The chocolate's
It's a weird
there.
combination. The Talisker is coming through, but
it's not Talisker.
It's not Talisker. It's got that.
It's still very sweet, actually.
Despite the fact it does smell and taste of bourbon biscuits. And when you eat a bourbon biscuit, it doesn't particularly taste artificial. But this almost has a slightly artificial sweetness to it that comes through.
That's very true.
And when you, even with the Talisker in here, still getting that artificial sweetness that lingers over the top of the Talisker. It's ruining the Talisker. Ruining the Talisker. The Talisker's not rescuing the Bourbon Bourbon.
But it's an interesting concept. I think if we could get the blend right, maybe.
I wonder, like, I reckon the only whiskey I can think that you could put in there that could potentially match it and potentially drown it out would be a Lafroig. Because the Lafroig is just so
big.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Okay. Well, it's divided the room here.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'd be interested in hearing how you get on with this one. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments.